Part 2 of the message for Black business owners who are based in Africa. I've got my smart girl glasses on and I've made notes so that I don't leave anything out. This is where my guide wanted me to start. She said that with regards to the high markups, what she's saying there is that they chase away clients. And because I am a sage of ancient ways, all of my messages based in reality but come with a spiritual perspective, a spiritual understanding. And so then what she was explaining to me is that from a spiritual perspective, when you put on a high markup, this is actually what you're doing. So let's say on a product that should have a 250 markup, you put on a 500 Rand markup. And she says that 500 then represents to clients. And it's possible that perhaps your second client would have been someone who either refers you to a whole lot more people or perhaps even gives you an opportunity to meet a business that then leads to a breakthrough for your product, for your company, for whatever it is, service that it is that you're offering. And so she said that it is killing your own opportunities to put on an unrealistic markup on a product. At the same time, of course, do not put too low of a markup on a product. Go and learn about pricing. All of this information is free. It's available. You can access it on so many platforms. Just type in pricing guidelines on your search engine and your Google, and you'll get so much information come through. And she was saying that this is not about charging too little. It is about charging fairly, because you must be willing to go through the hardship. Because to God, the universe, Allah, whatever name you choose to call all that is, how that is interpreted when you are willing to go through the hardship is that you are willing to invest in yourself, and thus putting out the energy of someone who is investment worthy, and thus will attract investors as a result. And so that is the spiritual perspective of that, is that willingness to invest in yourself. And against it, learn about pricing, teach yourselves about pricing. And the other point that you wanted me to clarify from part 1 is that the money you spend on public transport or your vehicle, it also helps to motivate later when you're looking for funding around why you ought to have a business vehicle and that sort of thing, but it just helps. And also when you do that the SWOT analysis, the challenges, because I think she was saying people think that they have to write this very business-like, corporate speak-like challenges, but the fact that you lose a lot of time if you use public transport, if you don't have a personal laptop, if you don't have, all of those things that other people have easy access to, you are spending money on printing, on every time you have to go to an internet cafe, all of those things. So you must note all of that down, because those are your challenges, but also it speaks nicely to your own, again, willing to invest in yourself, how much you've been investing in your business. And the other thing that she wanted me to speak about, I'm like, girl, you gave me notes. Why are you now making me go all over the place? But okay, thank you. I'm going to now start from the beginning, because that message, she said, if someone doesn't listen to the end, that's the one she at least wanted them to hear. So with regards to selling your products, she says it's important that you get them tested. Now SEDA, which is now SEDFA, SEDA or SEDFA, right? You find them online. I think they're .org.za. And they have different funding opportunities to help you, but one of them is product testing. They have a 60,000 Rand cap on how much they will put into the cost of product testing, but you are the one that sources the codes and all of it. And so it's a lovely thing. You definitely will get it under, but if it's over, then you have to bear the cost of that, the difference. But you definitely can get it for that 60,000 Rand. And then now you have in South Africa, South African Bureau of Services, SABS, SABS, then you have that approval, which a lot of times that's what also stands in the way of black business owners, right? When they manufacture products, is that, is your stuff certified, all of that, but people don't know how to do it. So that's important. with regards to the name, when the message was coming through, that don't just do it because I have to have a name. She said that she wants me to clarify that you must be very intentional about the name, be very smart, and that yes, bring the meaning of it into it, but also look at business trends, what names work and things like that. Don't be too sentimental. She says, don't be too sentimental about the name that you pick, but yes, it must be something meaningful. Download Canva, Canva. There are templates there. You can do your own logo. You don't need to pay people to pay a logo. It won't be perfect. This is just a startup. Eventually, you will have the finances to do this in a much grander way. You don't need a logo, but it looks nice. Letterheads. You can create all of that on Canva. It's free. When she wanted me to clarify with regards to the black business owners outside of South Africa on the African continent as well. Not to say that South Africa is not, it's just that when I told the message, I said in South Africa, I know that there are these funding opportunities, but I didn't know in other African countries. So that's what I mean. Is that when she mentioned international opportunities, she meant funding opportunities. I hope that was clear. She said, please look for online free classes on business and attend those, download PDFs, teach yourself. She says, if you're unemployed, please identify a business owner you admire or one who's just been at it for a long time. And the example that she gave me, she said, like the lady who sells muhodu or maguinya or whatever, or fufu, or whatever it might be, but she's been doing it a long time. She's taken her children to school with that money. Go and learn from her, because when you're unemployed, your mind, you don't want it to rot. So go and be learning. And the lovely thing with those businesses is that you can identify simple opportunities. So you now have a case study when you do your own application for business funding and things. Say, I have studied this business similar to mine, or just in terms of how a business runs, and this is how I would have improved this, and it showed me the gap, this gap, and all of that. So it's a lovely thing. She says that get an email address with a business name. You can start off with a Gmail if you want, but then the lovely thing is that 6 months and 9 months into it, if you do that 10 Rand a week into a business account, is that you will then be positioned to be able to then get a business account, not a business account, pardon me, but a business email address. And I know that in South Africa, but I think AfriHost actually operates beyond the continent, not beyond the continent, it's just beyond South African borders, and they are great. I've used them for many years, so I only speak from that point of view. I've used them for business. I've used them for my home. I enjoy this service. But I know that to register, get a domain, address, all of it, it's $199 initially. That is the once-off fee. But then you have, it's like 29 Rand a month. It's sorry. Thank you. The pen. Oh. Thank you. I just did a quick check. and AfriHost now is actually, the lowest one is 59 per month, which actually could be inaccessible for a lot of people. But I see that GoDaddy also has one that is 29 Rand a month, which I think is a much better deal. So they also seem to also have lower pricing on buying a domain and things, so also look at that option. And wherever possible, when you meet with clients, document, keep receipts if you paid for food, all of that. And in big letters, she said to me, tell them, do not exploit the system. So yes, keep records of everything, but do not exploit the system. Remember that old adage that I think still is very much true. It takes 3 years to break even in a business, 5 years to make a profit. And what that 3 years looks like is that's when you are putting all the money in the business, and when the 5 year finally breaks is that you can finally pay yourself a salary. And even documenting the company registration forms part of startup capital. So keep records, keep at it, and it will all work out.